Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And today's video is when he, a pro hero, falls in love with you, a barista. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And let's get going. The warm, comforting scent of roasted beans and sweet pastries were your daily reality. As a barista at the daily grind, you prided yourself on knowing your regulars' orders by heart. But there was one customer who, despite his frequent visits, remained an enigma. Katsuki Bakugo. He wasn't your typical chatty coffee lover. He would stride in, a scowl etched on his face, radiating an intensity that could even make the most seasoned caffeine addict flinch. His hero costume, usually a sleek bag with orange accents, was often discarded for a simple t-shirt and cargo pants on his days off, but the sharp spiky blonde hair and crimson eyes were unmistakable. "Just a black coffee, extra strong," he would grunt, tossing a handful of yens onto the counter. Always the same order, always the same tune. You, however, found a strange amusement in his predictable nature. Coming right up, you'd quip, a small smile playing on your lips. He'd narrow his eyes, a faint, almost unnoticeable twitch at the corner of his mouth. Was that supposed to be a smirk? Before turning to wait. One hectic Tuesday, the cafe was bustling. The line snaked out the door, and the espresso machine seemed to be staging a rebellion. You were a blur of motion, steaming milk, pulling shots, and calling out orders. When Bakugo finally reached the counter, he looked even more irritable than usual. "Black coffee," he barked, his voice a low growl that managed to cut through the cafe's din. You nodded, grabbing a fresh cup. "Rough day?" you asked, more to yourself than to him, as you started preparing his drink. He scoffed. "Every day's a rough day when you're dealing with idiots." He paused, then, surprisingly, added, "Some damn villain decided to take a joyride through the city park. Took forever to get him to shut up." You chuckled, pouring the dark liquid into his cup. "Sounds exhausting. Here's your shut up the villain coffee." He pushed the cup across the counter, and for the first time, you noticed a faint smear of soot on his cheek. He reached for the cup, his fingers brushing against yours. A jolt like static electricity passed between you. He pulled his hand back quickly, a flicker of something unreadable in his eyes. "Thanks." He took a long sip, his expression softening. "Actually, this is good. Real good." Your eyebrows rose in surprise. A compliment from Katsuki. This was a first. "Glad you approve, pro hero." He grunted again, but this time it felt less like an insult and more like an acknowledgement. As you left, you noticed him glancing back at you over his shoulder. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. His visits became more frequent, sometimes even twice a day. He still ordered the same black coffee, but the brief exchanges at the counter grew longer. One rainy afternoon, the cafe was almost empty. Bakugo walked in, his hair slightly damp, a rare sight. He didn't head straight for the counter. Instead, he stopped by a small table near the window, looking out at the rain. "Hey, are you alright?" you called out, wiping down the counter. He turned, his gaze meeting yours. "I'm just thinking." He actually said it, not a grunt, not a scoff. "This damn rain reminds me of a mission. Had to chase a guy through the sewers." He shuddered slightly. You chuckled. "Sounds like a delightful thing." You walked over to his table, a fresh cup of his usual coffee in your hand. "On the house today. Consider it a no more sewer gift." He looked at the coffee and then at you, a strange light in his eyes. "You remembered." "Of course I did." I mean, you do order the same thing every day. You winked. A genuine small smile touched his lips. It was a rare, almost disarming sight. Thanks, I guess. He took a sip and then looked at you again. You always remember everyone's order, don't you? It's my job, you said, shrugging. And I like it. Meeting new people and making their day a little brighter with a good cup of coffee. You do that, he said, his voice surprisingly soft. Make things brighter, as you say. He felt a blush creep up your neck. You quickly changed the subject. So, any exciting villain encounters lately? He chuckled, a low rumble that sent a shiver down your spine. Had a few run-ins. Nothing I couldn't handle, though. But it's always the paperwork that gets you. He spent the next hour talking, a casual and easy conversation that surprised you both. You learned about the frustrations of hero work, the pressure, and how hard it really was, and he in turn listened intently as you talked about the intricacies of coffee beans, the art of latte foam, and the personalities of your other regulars. From then on, his visits transformed. He no longer just barked his order. He'd linger, sometimes taking a seat at the counter, watching you work. One afternoon, he was sitting on the counter, sipping his black coffee, watching you decorate a latte with intricate foam art. That's pretty cool, he said, his voice a low murmur. Thanks, you replied, adding a delicate leaf. It's all actually about patience. You've got a lot of that, he observed, his eyes fixed on your hands. With me especially. You smiled, wiping your hands on your apron. You're not so bad, Bakugo. He put his cup down and then turned to face you fully. Look, I never thought I'd say this, okay? Especially not to a damn barista, but I really like coming here. And it's not just the coffee. Your heart fluttered in your chest. Oh, you managed, trying to keep your voice steady. He cleared his throat, running a hand through his spiky hair. Yeah, it's you. You're different. You don't treat me like some damn hero. You just treat me like a person. And you make me laugh. And this coffee is the only thing that actually tastes right after a long day. He met your gaze, a surprising vulnerability in his eyes. I think I'm falling for you, Lion. The words hung in the air, and you felt your own cheeks flush, a warm sensation spreading through your entire body. Bakugo, he began, a wide smile breaking out on your face. Katsuki, he interrupted, his gaze unwavering. Call me Katsuki. Well, Katsuki, you repeated, the name feeling surprisingly natural on your tongue. I think that I am, too. He blinked, a slow, disbelieving blink, and then a genuine grin spread across his face, brighter and more explosive than any hero move. He leaned across the counter, his hand reaching out, gently cupping your cheek. Good, because I've been thinking about this damn coffee shop, and you, for way too long. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you liked this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and goodbye!